Hello guys, this is Leo from Quotes and Posters, and today I'm gonna talk about this quote here by Benjamin Franklin, which is, "Tell me and I forget, kiss me and I may remember, involve me and I will." Benjamin Franklin is like his quotes I think are one of my favorites. I think he was a very important thinker, and I think like the kind of quotes that he created reflects that, like how intelligent he was. And well, this quote I think is it's so interesting because most of the times in my life, people where I was doing something together and I was collaborating at some project at work or anything, any endeavor that I was taking in life, and when I was working with people, I would say that most of the times people are very selfish on their things, like people don't involve others when they are doing something. So as a collective, and we work most of the times, we don't work alone, we work as a collective. You start to see these patterns happening. Like it happened so many times through some jobs some companies that I worked with, that people are really afraid of sharing their work as a team and getting like opinions from others which might change their work, and then you see a lot of these power struggles arising when you're working with teams, that you always see that the person that wants to control others and wants to be in charge or wants to be in power, and you always see, even like if that person was not appointed for that role, the person technically is not appointed to be in charge, and you're supposed to have certain hierarchies. Most of the jobs in the companies that I had, they just don't respect that. They just totally disrespect this, and then people start to get very political, and they take things for them. They don't share with others, or they just form their groups, their little groups, and these little groups help each other. It's quite interesting, and not to say sad, to see how actually people like to do these things, like how politics ends up developing on every environment, every social environment that you are. If you put a group of people together to accomplish something, first thing that's going to happen is you're going to see this politics happening with people, because people have different mindsets, and there's always an asshole that wants to control everything. There's always the asshole that wants to control everything. And there's always the lazy one, there's always the one that doesn't want to do anything. But you're never going to find a group of people where everybody collaborates together in harmony. Never. It's so interesting to see how this works, right? It's always going to be like a dysfunctional group where one wants something, the other wants other thing, and there's no other, and then the politics, then people start getting together with they start to form smaller groups to get their interests met, and man, it's just incredible how human beings operate, right? And that's why in the scaling that to a global level, that's why you got countries, that's why you have religion, that's why you have basically all the conflicts, all the problems we have in society is because of that. It's because of people wanting different things and not respecting what the other wants, so not being able to actually live well with our differences. Just doesn't happen. There's always going to be an asshole that will want to control you and that is going to want to enslave you, right? So this quote here is very deep. It's a very deep philosophical quote in this sense, because it tells that if you involve people on a community, well, maybe this quote is a big utopia, right? But I think in order for you to have like real progress, and maybe call me a utopian, maybe I'm a fool, but I don't know, man. I still truly believe in collaboration. I truly believe in teamwork. But I believe that for teamwork to happen, everybody should be on the same page, and there should be trust, and there should be respect, and you have to be in an environment that you believe that you are making progress to yourself, right? Which most of the times is not the case, right? I think. So the best way for you to learn, as the quotes say, and I think the best way for you to make progress with your life is to be involved, right? Because most of the times, and even if you're in the beginning of your career, you just end up doing these jobs where they just treat you like a task maker, right? You have all these tasks and you have to accomplish, and you have to do it diligently, without actually having any say in the methods and in the process, and then you gotta be like, if you sometimes if you want to get really involved into something, sometimes you gotta be proactive, you gotta actually try to be more involved, because maybe in most of the cases, if you are not if people don't involve you, sometimes it's because you don't want to get involved. But if you want to get involved and people are not involving you, then you might try asking to get involved, and you might try being more proactive, and you might try being more engaging with the group, right? Because if you then engage with the group, you eventually if the group finds useful, group might involve you, right? But sometimes that's not how it works, right? Sometimes that's not the case. And I think that most of the times, especially with my previous experiences in life, most of the times I wanted to get involved, and they just didn't want to involve me. And I asked to be involved, and they said no. So this is what happens in reality. You're dealing with selfish people who wants to have everything for themselves and don't want to involve you. Right, so if this is the reality and you want to get involved, you want to have more relevance in what you're doing, how do you get involved? I think you get involved when it comes to respect, when people see actually that, when people are valuing you. And you see, I've seen a lot in companies and corporations that I worked, that basically they hire you for a specific task, but they really don't value your contributions, right? They hire you because they need to hire someone, and you seem to be a good fit. But when you try to bring the best of you and try to bring your contributions, you notice that most of the times your contributions are not being valued. And I think for you to get involved more into things, for people to involve you, I mean, if you're not getting involved and you want to get involved, is about you becoming someone essential. Like, for example, suppose that you're at a work and there are two people doing, you and someone else doing the same kind of work, and that person leaves the company, and then that's only you. Well, then you're gonna get more involved, right? Because you automatically gain relevance to the company, and then suddenly your boss is going to involve you in everything that the company is doing, just because of a matter of relevance. But if you take this example to all the contexts, you see that people involve the ones that they value, that they see value, and people involve the ones that they respect, right? So if you want to be involved, you have to make yourself valuable. Oh, here we go. So how do you make yourself valuable? That's, sometimes unfortunately people make themselves valuable by imposing their value instead of earning. Or I mean, not earning, but yeah, sometimes people impose respect. Most of the times people impose respect instead of earning respect. And I think it's really tricky to actually find, when you work in groups, to find people that really have the respect of others. Most of the time people they just don't respect their leaders, and they're just there for the wrong reasons. They're just there to get some benefits, some salary or something. They're just in a relationship because of that. But for you to be valuable to a company through respect, through real value, where everybody believes in your value, this is really extremely hard, I think. So I don't know, you just have to find ways of being valuable to a relationship that you are in. And I hope that you find ways to be genuinely valuable, not through force or not imposing yourself, which happens most of the times, right? and it's incredible how people can be so selfish, like how they really are not going to involve everybody. People are not interested in making the process of doing things collaboration. They are not. They will just involve the people that they think is gonna benefit them to get what they want, right? And it's interesting, like how the collective works. That everybody wants something different, and you're working for a boss and you're working for a team, and it's interesting that you see that everybody's looking for their own interest in their own thing. What are they getting to the end? And that's why you get 80% of people unhappy with their jobs, because they're just fulfilling tasks, not getting involved, and not feeling that they belong somewhere. Because this is something that I always struggle in my life. I always felt like I didn't belong anywhere. And exactly, I felt exactly like that because I was not getting involved. I was not getting the right recognition, the right attention. I was not being valued for my contributions. And you try to talk, you try to understand why, and sometimes you're just not being valued because the person just doesn't see your value. The person, I mean the collective, maybe is not just, well, maybe it is just a matter of one person perspective, right? Because most of these times one person have the power to change something, right? But yeah, I just feel that in my life I didn't belong anywhere, because I always try to do things together, and I always try to respect the levels of hierarchy. I always try to have mutually beneficial relationships, and most of the times I failed. Most of the times you fail to have a healthy relationship, and most of the times your relationships are dysfunctional. You don't like your work, you don't like your business partner, you don't like your spouse or whatever. You just stuck in life, dealing in situations that you wish you were not, didn't have to deal. You wish you could belong somewhere. You wish you could be respected, because ultimately people wants to be respected, and people wants to feel empowered. People wants to feel that they managed to make a contribution to something. And it's very hard when you are working with groups of people. It's very hard. I don't know, honestly. Sometimes I worked with interesting groups of people that we made interesting things. But I understand that is something very hard to achieve, because ultimately you can't control or you can expect people to value you. You can try as much as you can, like you can try to prove your value to someone, but it's not up to you. In the end, it's not up to you, and then you have to really understand how much effort you should keep insisting on, or if you should move on, you know. And yeah, in my case, I moved on many times. And people might say, oh, you're a quitter. Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I'm a quitter. I don't give a fuck. I just don't feel like I want to be stuck in a place where I'm not developing myself and I'm not learning anything. It's like giving up on your dreams, or giving up on life, and for the sake of others, for the happiness of others, right? Which is very selfish. Sometimes you just can't get involved. Sometimes it will not happen. You are not gonna get involved. And if you wanna get involved, sometimes you have to quit. So I think this quote here it's a quote for all these people in the world that are in a situation, in a position of leadership, and you have power over others, and you also have responsibilities over others. I think this quote here is for you. If you want the best of your team, if you want people to respect you, and if you want people to feel empowered, involve them. And obviously this doesn't work for everyone. Some people, they just don't want to get involved. Some people are okay, and I met some people like this in my life. I met some colleagues that they're just happy doing the work that people tell them to do, and they're just happy there, spending their entire lives in a job without getting promoted. This kind of people, they're fine, you know. They have other priorities in life. They have other things which they want to enjoy their lives in different ways, and they don't put so much thing into their activities, into the work that they do. They're not career focused, or they don't care much about their personal progress. I mean, their professional progress, they don't care too much. Some people are like that. Others, like me, we are the difficult people to deal with. We are the ones that are gonna make your life a pain in the ass. Like, we are the ones that are gonna question things. We are the ones that are not gonna be satisfied with one answer or one solution. We're gonna bring a lot of pain to you, but also we might bring amazing results, right? So who is the kind of boss you want to be? Mr. Boss. Are you the boss that wants a bunch of idiots saying yes to everything that you give to them to do? Or you are the person that actually are going to involve people and are going to give responsibility to people and empower people to do the best work that they can. Well, think about it, Mr. Boss, because honestly I had very bad bosses in my life, and I wish I am not one of them. So here you go. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. From Benjamin Franklin. Thank you and see you again.